Legal News 26 February to 4th March 2017 by Deepak Miglani. Bar girls moved Supreme Court in Maharashtra dance ban. Gopal Ansal moved Supreme Court. Women cannot abort fetus with Down syndrome. Supreme Court. Ghaziabad Court rejected Ringing Bells MD's bail plea. Punjab and Haryana High Court stop pressurizing judge in Jat quota unrest cases. Second Delhi High Court judge named Justice Jayant Nath opts out of Gymkhana Club case. Delhi High Court cancelled the parole and furlough granted to INLD chief Shri O.P. Chautala. Supreme Court granted pension to 8 faujis sacked for cowardice. Honor killing. Supreme Court enhanced penalty gives man life for killing daughter. Bar Council says it has no funds to verify degrees. Safety first. No pick and choose policy on hygiene at eateries. Delhi High Court. Delhi High Court stayed move to shut blind school. Supreme Court directed the centre to draw up a comprehensive framework within 3 weeks to address distress in the farm sector. Delhi High Court. Bicon, Milan can sell their cancer drugs. Now news in detail. Bar girls moved Supreme Court in Maharashtra dance ban. An association of women dancers, waitress, singers and other performers working in bars and hotels in Maharashtra has moved the Supreme Court challenging the constitutional validity of a 2016 state law prohibiting dances by women in these establishments, though members of this association sniggered at being derogatorily referred to as bar girls. They have under the banner Bharatiya Bar Girls Union termed Maharashtra Prohibition of Obscene Dances in Hotels, Restaurants and Bar Rooms and Protection of Dignity of Women Working There in Act 2016 as arbitrary and violative of their right to earn a livelihood through legitimate means. Gopal Ansal moved Supreme Court. Real estate tycoon Gopal Ansal moved the Supreme Court seeking parity in sentence with elder brother Sushil Ansal in the Uphar fire tragedy case. That is, he does not want to undergo the remaining part of his 1-year sentence. Gopal and Sushil were let off last year by the Supreme Court with the sentence already undergone by them as adequate punishment, provided each paid rupees 30 crore in fine. The Supreme Court had directed the Delhi government to use the rupees 60 crore for construction of a trauma center. Women cannot abort fetus with Down syndrome. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court rejected the plea of a Mumbai woman to abort her 26-week-old fetus, which reports show suffers from Down syndrome and may be born with physical and mental abnormalities. Sympathizing with the 37-year-old woman, a bench of justices S.A. Bobde and L.N. Rao said, while it was said for a mother to bring up a mentally challenged child, it could not permit her to abort it. The judges said that abortion of a fetus over 20 weeks old could be allowed only if there was a danger to the life of the mother or the fetus had no chance of survival. Ghaziabad Court rejected Ringing Bells MD's bail plea. a Ghaziabad court dismissed the bail plea of Ringing Bells MD Mohit Goyal, who was arrested last week on charges of fraud. The fresh bail application was moved by Goyal's lawyer on the grounds that the company has returned the money it owed to complainant Akshay Malhotra of IM Enterprises. The court had on February 25 rejected his first bail plea. Punjab and Haryana High Court stop pressurizing judge in Jat quota unrest cases. The Punjab and Haryana High Court observed that a judge hearing violence cases registered during the February 2016 Jat agitation was under pressure. The High Court neither mentioned the name of the judge nor specified the pressure. Additional Solicitor General of India Tushar Mehta, appearing for the Haryana government, assured the court that appropriate action will be taken against anybody intervening in the judicial functioning. Second Delhi High Court judge named Justice Jayant Nath opts out of Gymkhana Club case. A second Delhi High Court judge named Jayant Nath has recused himself from hearing a plea filed by Delhi Gymkhana Club against a trial court order on grant of memberships, saying he had applied for membership in the much sought after club. Justice Jayant Nath sent back the file saying he could not hear the case since he was one of the applicants seeking membership in the Delhi Gymkhana Club. Delhi High Court cancelled the parole and furlough granted to INLD Chief O.P. Chautala. The Delhi High Court cancelled the parole and furlough granted to INLD Chief O.P. Chautala on medical grounds. The High Court directed him to surrender forthwith and said that he cooked a snook at the court and misled it by feigning illness and by indulging in political activities. Justice Vipin Sanghi took this step after a complainant informed it that the former Haryana CM serving a 10-year jail term in a teacher's recruitment scam case was misusing his parole to attend meetings, as was seen in news. Supreme Court granted pension to 8 faujis sacked for cowardice. The Supreme Court has granted pension to 8 soldiers who were dismissed by the army for an act of cowardice during a militant attack in 2003 on an EMA battalion in Akhnur of Jammu and Kashmir. A bench of Justices Deepak Mishra and A.M. Khanwilkar partly allowed the Union government's appeal against the decision of Armed Forces Tribunal, which had ordered their reinstatement with full back wages. The Supreme Court granted them only pension benefits and refused back wages. 9 soldiers were on guard duty in Akhnur on 22nd July 2003 when terrorists struck at around 5:50 am and attempted to move towards the quarter guard area where arms and ammunition were stored. The 9 soldiers who formed the rear guard failed to take action to neutralize the terrorists. During a court of inquiry, it was found that most of these 9 soldiers had returned almost the entire ammunition allotted to them. One of them returned 37 rounds of the 40 rounds of ammunition allowed to him. The colonel found soldiers blameworthy of displaying cowardice, failing to take effective steps to counter the threat and failing to neutralize the terrorists despite being armed. Honor killing. Supreme Court enhanced penalty gives man life for killing daughter. The Supreme Court awarded life imprisonment to a man, enhancing the 10-year jail term handed out to him earlier for killing his pregnant daughter, who had eloped and got married to her lover belonging to the lower caste. A bench of Justices Kurian Joseph and A.M. Khanwilkar said the man deserved a severe punishment for the heinous crime, as it enhanced the 10-year jail term awarded by the Karnataka High Court. Bar Council says it has no funds to verify degrees. The Supreme Court asked universities to verify law degrees awarded by them free of charge after the Bar Council of India told it that a financial crunch was impeding its drive to weed out fake advocates practicing in courts. The drive, launched by the regulator 2 years ago based on its certificate and place verification rules 2015, required each state bar council to verify the law degrees of advocates registered with them, who number around 20 lakh in the country, with BCI chairman Manan K. Mishra going public with his suspicion that nearly 40% or 8 lakh advocates were practicing with fake degrees. The Supreme Court had lent assistance through judicial orders for the verification drive. Safety first. No pick and choose policy on hygiene at eateries. Delhi High Court. The Delhi High Court stressed that hygiene and safety standards must be maintained across all eating joints in the city, adding that there can be no pick and choose policy by Food Safety Department. Justice Sanjeev Sachdev pointed this out while directing withdrawal of notices issued against Kake Da Hotel, a popular eatery in the city, over allegations of substandard hygiene and safety after the department agreed that deficiencies have been addressed. Delhi High Court stayed move to shut blind school. The Delhi High Court stayed a move by the city government to close down a residential school for blind students. In an interim order, a bench of Chief Justice G. Rohini and Justice Sangeeta Dhingra Sehgal also asked the Directorate of Education to respond to allegations that it was forcibly removing the students to other schools. The National Federation of Blind, an NGO, had approached the court highlighting the plight of the students who were, it claimed, unwilling to be shifted out. Supreme Court directed the center to draw up a comprehensive framework within 3 weeks to address distress in the farm sector. The Supreme Court frowned upon the lack of seriousness on the part of governments to address the core issues driving thousands of farmers to suicide and directed the center to draw up a comprehensive framework within 3 weeks to address distress in the farm sector. Hearing a PIL by NGO Citizen Resource and Action Initiative demanding compensation to families of farmers who had committed suicide, a bench of Justice J.S. Kehar and Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul said, it is not possible for the court to grant compensation every time a farmer commits suicide. If the government deals with the regions, only then will suicides stop. Delhi High Court. Bicon, Milan can sell their cancer drugs. The Delhi High Court allowed drug companies Bicon and Milan to sell their version of drug trastuzumab for 2 kinds of breast cancer and metastatic gastric cancer in view of the approval granted to it by the Drugs Controller General of India. Thank you.